Well, we're in a small hole here. So let's see if we can return to normal size. You were able to return to your original size. This is an old grave. It seems to have been neglected for a long time. Though this iron fence is rusty, it is still quite strong. These gravestones create an eerie atmosphere. You cannot even begin to guess how old some of these gravestones are. Goodbye. Now that crow drops a feather, but no, you can't pick it up, unfortunately. It seems we found ourselves in a courtyard, but it looks like this door is locked. It's a statue made from stone unlike any you have ever seen before. Let's see what's behind here. With a grunt and a heave, you systematically rip the boards off. This gravestone gives you an unsettling feeling. Now, there must be something special about it considering it's separated from the actual graveyard. We found ourselves in a church, which looks like it's falling apart a bit. There's debris falling from holes in the ceiling, though it's still very magnificent. This appears to be some sort of pulpit. This looks like an old symbol for the One. And what is this vial? You have found the dragon tears. Will you take the holy elixir? You take the bottle. And just like with any strange liquid, let's try some immediately. With a cautious slurp, you take a small drink of the dragon tears. The aches and pains of your recent ordeals seem to evaporate. With renewed vigor and a fresh outlook, you feel ready to take on the world. Interestingly enough, if we drink the liquid sunset, the dragon tears will cure us. This pew looks like it would break if you sat on it. The chain, which connects to the ladder, is secured by a nail. The ladder looks movable, but locked somehow, though we already know how it's locked. And we can't take a closer look at these windows. Surely we can take a shortcut down. Foolishly, you take a step into midair. Gravity takes over and you plummet. You have a quick, irrational thought as you fall. Watch out for that first step. You quickly meet the ground with a meaty thud. Now, I'll assume that it doesn't kill you outright, but if you break your legs, not much more you can do. Let's see where this takes us. You found a golden key. So we'll take that from the keyboard, and looking closer, it looks like one of them has been broken on the right. And on the ground is a key. Now, I'll be picking this key up, but spoiler, you never use it. It's another red herring. I'll be saving us the effort of checking every door with it. You found a crowbar. The weight of the crowbar in your hand makes you feel somewhat protected. And this is another locked door. So the map tells us we're in a cathedral. Assumably that area on the left is the graveyard. Two coffins. You see a coffin. Rats. The coffin is locked. Well, we happen to have the key on us. The coffin's lock opens with a click. Scrawled across the cover are the words "Family Diary." You are unable to remove the book. It will not budge. It is ironic, but it seems the corpse is holding onto it for dear life. And that's about all we can do right now, and no, we cannot pry it off with the crowbar. As funny as that would be. I kinda do like the mental image of trying to pry a book out of an old woman's hands with a crowbar. Now, I'm going to use the crowbar to take this nail out, but I want you to pay attention to the speed that it leaves, and how long it takes to hear it fall. And there I pressed A again. Sometimes I forget to do that. It lets you just check the general area, but not every room has one. But looking on the ground, it's not here? Yes, it's flown all the way over there. So it seems like gravity is a little lower in this world. You scoop up the nail and take it with you. In a more realistic sense, the game itself probably just makes everything move much slower. I would imagine that things would look more realistic if the game was simply sped up. It does make me wonder why the animations weren't in the first place, though. The roof appears unstable and rotting in many places. It looks like the roof might give way under your weight. And of course, if we step into a rotting area, we'll die. But it gives us the same death message as before. Now, we could go to the right and take a pretty easy way around, but in the spirit of things, Lakmir did tell us to take the narrow path. You found a bottle containing oil. The bottle of oil almost slips through your fingers. It's a heavy iron pot. There is no way that you can carry it. Right, so a heavy iron pot's too much, but 1,000 books is fine. There's a cover on the barrel. This barrel is full of water. Now, assuming this tower has been vacant for as long as it's been implied, I would imagine that water would be disgusting. But it looks pristine. It's a large dining room. You can imagine the kind of food that must have been served. What's this? The fire burns with an odd color. Never mind that it's burning in a deserted tower. And we, can't actually examine what's above there. But that's fine. Nor can we examine the tapestries. This is a big table. It could seat perhaps 12 people. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say it could probably seat double that. Then again, Dell is smaller compared to most people. Now this room is a real anomaly. As far as I can tell, there's no purpose for it. It's completely blank. You'll never come back to it, and you never need to go here. And there's not a single room like it anywhere else in the game. If there is like a useless room, it at least has details in it, but I think this was just a room created that never got fleshed out. I see that you choose the narrow path, young Dell. Will you continue the journey? Here within the Tower of Lakmir are numerous magical devices. They await you. The second floor and beyond contains places where no one other than myself has walked. What awaits you will test your will. Nay, not just your will, but your heart as well. I leave you a gift and a task. Should you accept the task, then the gift is yours. But first, you must find the gift. Call it to test. We will speak again. So this is an interesting foyer. It's firmly shut. Whether you push or pull, it refuses to budge. This pipe is unlike anything you have seen before. It is strangely out of place. You found official's article. You decide, after much debating, to take it. Let's see what it says. I have requested an additional key for the underground tunnel from the old custodian. This is because we have recently lost our only copy. In the future, when using this key, please return it to this room. You found an ornate mug. This should be helpful for the water later. You decide that you might need a cup like this. The title of this book is a little difficult to read. Magical Elixirs. Shall you take this faded tome? You take the book and add it to your collection. We'll read that later. But there's also one last item in here, a sneaky little key. You have found a rusty key. Will you take the key? You take the key, hoping to use it on the appropriate lock. Now, unfortunately, there are a few items like that in Shadowgate 64, and if you miss them, you'll never know where they are. Especially items like that, you don't use it in the immediate area. So you might have to backtrack quite a bit and search around random places if you don't know. The name of this book is Alkaloid's Diary. You take the book, feeling a little guilty while you put it away. No, we don't. I worry about good Master Lakmir. The pressures which weigh heavily upon him have grown, and yet he bears them better than a man half his age. He was once again summoned to the royal chambers in Gwynenthal, a trivial matter beneath Lakmir's station. It seems that since King Gyre's death, the kingdom has been slowly eroding. Has it only been 3 summers since Gyre died? Still, Lakmir handles the pressures faultlessly, and by himself. Ever since King Gyre took ill several years ago, he has closed himself off to those around him. Now the wards and guards stop anyone from going past the 2nd floor in his chambers. I know he does not think too much of his latest alkaloids, but he needs to open up and trust us with more. He is called Lakmir the Timeless, but, and I know this is blasphemous, no one lives forever. On that note, it's hard to tell whether or not Lakmir is a ghost, or if he is something else. The paper is a receipt. Let's see what's on the receipt. 1 unicorn hoof, 6 fairy wings, 4 spider eyes, 1 giant hair, 1 very small rock.
Very small rocks.
And the extract of a newt. 150 gold, I'm not sure how much that would be. You found a long, thick strand of hair. And this is clearly the giant's hair from the receipt. You are amazed at the size of the hair as you take it. The door won't open. It seems to be rusted. Well, we do have some oil, which we're too far away to use. There we go. You decide to use some oil on the door. Well, that symbol looks familiar. An object shaped like a star adorns this metal door. Will you take the crest? You take the star crest. The door fails to open. Well, again we've exhausted our options. It looks like we need to go through that door, but until we power up whatever opens it, we can't. Let's try to put that fire out. You scoop some of the water out with the mug. So let's try the water on the fire. You pour water on the fire to little avail. It keeps burning. Well, why don't we try some dragon tears? You hold back from pouring the dragon tears on the flames. Something tells you that using pure dragon tears on the fire might be disastrous. Still, I wish the game lets you find out the hard way. But let's read that book we got, Magical Elixirs. Elixirs and potions have long been a part of the magical culture, but recently, the origins and uses of such compounds have been lost and forgotten. This book shall attempt to correct that. The concoction known as Dragon Tears is one such powerful elixir. Created from 1/2 real dragon tears and 1/2 pristine water, its origin dates back to the Johira and their ministrations to the One. And the One took his mighty creation and caused it to weep. The rain fell and washed his people clean. Because of its holy nature, it has chiefly been used as a means to counter magic. Used in full strength, it has been documented to cleanse tainted and cursed souls. This usage has a direct link to the Book of the One, as cited previously. However, not as well documented is its use in diluted form, for when mixed in other liquids or powders, it can greatly increase that compound's efficiency. That is why it can be used to enhance properties in ordinary liquids. A poison may become more deadly, or a healing potion more potent. Even such mundane liquids as water can become potent with the addition of a small amount of dragon tears. However, it should be used sparingly, because it is a rare item indeed. Well, that's a pretty blatant hint. So because we can't combine inventory items, let's go pour some dragon tears into the barrel. A single drop of dragon tears fell into the water. Using the mug, you scoop out some water. As soon as the water hits the fire, it immediately goes out. Now let's try the star crest. You insert the crest and the tower begins to vibrate. Something is turned on. And now we have access further down the basement.